Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to do an Elliott waves analysis on ZBCN ZBEC price chart in like very short time in this specific phase down and see what is happening. And let's start counting waves from this high. But before that, let's actually real quick put our chart on regular scale and then measure this important wave. I'm going to tell you in a bit why. As you can see, by a decent margin, this wave is bigger than this one, and I think in ZBEC, if we are bullish, which we probably are, we're going to have the subwaves for an ABC zigzag, which is going to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into wave A, correction for wave B. Let's say an ABC, maybe WXY, maybe WXYZ, maybe even a triangle, doesn't matter. And then another impulse down into our C leg. And why did I measure that specific wave earlier? Because in any kind of 5 wave, wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And because it wasn't, well, okay, I'm going to argue, you know what, probably in ZBCN, this is 1, this is 2, to about probably this point of wave 3, followed by an ABC flat into 4 and another move down into wave 5. Followed by that, I think we can all agree this is not an impulse, it is most likely a WXY in form of a double zigzag, and I promise you, you can absolutely find the subwaves for a double zigzag if you go on some lower time frames. And then I am really hoping that in ZBEC, this is gonna be, excuse me, wave 1, correction for 2, another move down into wave 3, quite a strong one, correction for 4, and yet another phase down into wave 5. And well, on a higher degree, let's hope that we completed the subwaves for an ABC zigzag and the bottom is in. And if this is happening, then okay, in ZBEC, in the short term, we are going to be extremely bullish. Why? Because I can now tell you, look, this is on a higher degree, 5 up into 1, correction for wave 2. And what's next if this scenario is going to play out? You know the answer, huge move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5, which just for our wave 3, it's absolutely possible to take the highest high right in here around, let's say, 0.7 of a cent. But I think we are probably going to go quite a bit higher than that. So overall, definitely we are looking good. But is that actually enough? For example, just because we are able to find complete subwaves for a zigzag to about the lowest low, does this mean we should now be 1000% bullish and call this point our final low with a lot of confidence? Unfortunately, no. You see, if you want to be bullish on any chart and you want to say the bottom is in, then okay, you have to be able to find off of the lowest low in terms of Elliott waves a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. This specific structure is called an impulsive movement. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of 5 wave, our wave 3 is simply not allowed to be the smallest wave. And in terms of the subwaves, you know it, 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5, and for wave 2 and 4, we can have different scenarios. Not that important. Let's say, yeah, okay, WXY into wave 2 and an ABC structure into wave 4. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is going on from here. Maybe it's best to go on, let's say, 15-minute time frame. Yeah, okay, there we go. So what is happening in my view, starting from this point and not the highest high, this is an A, correction for wave B, and probably a 5 wave impulsive structure on the downside. So overall, this might be an ABC expanded flat. And when you go on even some lower time frames, I'm not really interested doing that, but just notice, when you go, for example, on 5-minute chart or maybe even 1-minute time frame, you are absolutely able to find in this initial bounce off of the lowest low a 5 wave. So this is 5 wave up, this is a correction down. We are having probably a bit of a bullish setup, and I think we can all agree that this is a beautiful looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave. So what happened? We are having only so far at least 2 sets of 5 waves, meaning whether we are going to be bullish or bearish in here, it's gonna be an absolute toss-up for us. Why? You see, you can consider 2 different counts. Scenario number 1 suggests that this is gonna be a 1, correction for 2, good move up into wave 3, which let's hope is going to continue a little bit, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. Scenario number 2 suggests, you know what, that's not gonna happen, and these are the subwaves for a very simple ABC zigzag, and after it's over, we're going to continue our move down in order to unfortunately take the lowest low once more. So which scenario is happening? Well, here's the thing, there is no certainty in any market at any given moment. We are only talking about different possibilities. That's pretty much it. In fact, I'm here to tell you, if I ever talked about a scenario with absolute certainty, you should definitely unsub and do not watch any of my videos ever, because I have probably at that point gone absolutely mad. Now, here's a very important point. There are some signs in the short term which, based on them, you can argue which possibility might happen. And I think it all actually comes down to the next move. Why? You see, let's say this move is going to continue a little bit more. Then, okay, what are we going to do after it? What you want to see in ZBEC is a very slow and choppy move on the downside, and then yet another move up. And let's not focus on this thing. Let's just say we get a very slow and choppy move down. This will be a great sign, because at that point I can tell you, look, this is 1, this is 2, wave 3, correction for 4, and what's next? Good move up into wave 5. On the other hand, what you do not want to see, maybe after another small continuation of the move up, is a very strong move down, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without a lot of overlapping of the waves, because at that point, well, okay, unfortunately, that is going to open the doors to having in here an ABC zigzag, which will probably, I'm gonna say 90% is going to get confirmed the moment that we go down and take this important low down here about 0.37 of a cents, because at that point, finding a complete wave from here to about these areas is going to be extremely challenging, to a degree that is seriously not going to be anybody's primary case, suggesting, you know what, probably we are in like very short term looking a bit bearish, and our move down is going to continue. So in ZBEC, 2 very important points. In the short term, all eyes on the next move and see what the shape of that is going to look like, because one way or the other we are going to get some sort of a move down, and it's not honestly tradable. What really matters is the shape of it, and also at the same time, all eyes on this important look down here, and let's hope that we're not going to take it. As long as we are not taking it, I think makes sense to be optimistic. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in ZBCN's price chart. And until the next update, have a wonderful time. Goodbye.